All right, so now we're going to cover the market research blueprint. So this is the process that I go through, and essentially this is my ad campaign planning process. So step number one, what I do is I always want to review at least the top 3 competitors' website and fan pages. So if this is you, obviously you're going to know who your competitors are. If it's your client, you could ask them. But a lot of times if it's a local business, it's going to be clients in their local area. What I'll also like to do is I like to look at the bigger markets, right? Like New York, Boston, Chicago, LA. And if it's a local client, look at the top businesses in those markets, the ones that have the top rankings, the ones that look most active with their social media profiles. The other thing you could do is you could use a program like Sales Genie or Info USA, and then you could see, what companies have the highest revenue in the country for the market that you're going into. And you could steal a lot of good stuff by seeing who the top marketers are. One thing that I did in one of the niches that I'm in, is actually the med spa niche, is essentially I was able to find one of the top med spas in the country. They were located out in New Jersey, and a lot of the offers that I first came up with was basically piggybacking off of their great marketing. So a lot of this work is done for you, but really what you're going to look for is I like to create a pre-copy sheet. And what this means is before I write any advertisements, I like to see, what are the facts that my competitors are saying? What are the benefits that they're offering? What are the actual offers, right? Is it a free consultation? Is it buy one, get one free? And then lastly, what's the proof? Is it before and afters? Because essentially we want to match and improve what they're doing. Also, what we want to do is we want to look for their unique selling propositions. We want to see how they're answering the question. If I am your ideal prospect, why should I do business with you versus any other options, including doing nothing? So a lot of times, local businesses won't have one, but sometimes they do. And, if they don't have one, you still want to see what are the benefits they're offering. That way you could position against what they're doing and be different. Really key. You also want to look at, when we're looking at their advertisements, when we're looking at their Google AdWords, when we're looking at their website, what problems are they calling out? What frustrations are they calling out? What fears? And then what are the desires, hopes, and dreams that they're saying that they're going to be able to accomplish? And really, we're looking to reverse engineer, right? And I'll show you how to do this in a second. And then that's kind of step one. Step two is I always like to answer the smart market diagnosis questions. And this is something I learned from Dan Kennedy. It's from one of my top recommended books on copywriting, which is The Ultimate Sales Letter. And that is, I'm going to go to it here, these 10 questions, which is number one, what keeps them? This is whether if it's your business, these are your prospects. If it's the prospect's business, who are their prospects, customers, right? We want to know what keeps them up, awake at night, indigestion, boiling up their esophagus, eyes open, staring at the ceiling. We want to know, what are they afraid of? What are they angry about? Who are they angry at? What are their top 3 daily frustrations? What trends are occurring and will occur in their business or lives? What do they secret or ardently desire the most? Is there a built-in bias to the way that they're making decisions? Do they have their own language? Who else is selling something similar to them and how? And who else has tried selling them something similar and how has that effort failed? And these are good questions for figuring out the competitive landscape and also entering in the conversation with your prospect's head, which is ultimately what a good ad is going to do. So, like I said, here's where I like to go to check out the competition. Number one, simplest way, go to Google. Type in, New York lawyer or San Diego lawyer San Diego, immigration attorney, right? If that's a niche that you're going after. And then essentially it's just a matter of checking out their website. Most of the time from their website, you could find their social properties, their Twitter feed, their Instagram, their social media. And then you could start to look at, what are they posting on there? What are their offers that they're making? Because all these businesses are usually promoting on their social media properties as well as their website. You could do the site / and try to find every page of their website. I like to sometimes, if it's a brand new market, I pop the website into SimilarWeb, SpyFu. You can look at what AdWords they're running, and Alexa. That way you can start to get information on the demographic if they have enough of traffic. That way you're not guessing, right? The you want to do as little guessing as possible, which is you want to know, okay, the majority of their web viewers are women ages 35 to 45 from the United States, and they live in bigger cities. This is all stuff that's going to help you write your ads. One of the things I love to do is go into the Facebook ads library, which is a way to, once you have their fan page, you could type that in, and that way you could see all the active ads they're running on Facebook or Instagram. So that's really, really key when it comes to figuring out what they're doing. And again, if you're finding the better competitors on a national scale, you could simply plug that over into the local business that you're working with. Another tool, a bit more expensive, is Power Ads Spy. You could find the YouTube ads and all sorts of banner ads and all sorts of stuff like that. And another one is Ad Suite, I believe it's called. So that's kind of my process. Groupon and Living Social is another place that I will look, because a lot of times if you can see an offer that's successfully running on Groupon or Living Social, you can take that and you could turn that into a Facebook ad, a social media ad. And then finally, there's some advanced Google searches. If you guys have checked out my Google hacking, which is in the cheat codes program, I cover this in more detail, which is typing in the Google with advanced search queries like facebook.com/K likes limited time gym, right? That way it's going to try to pull out some gym ads. And then also clickfunnels.com, leadpages.net, any landing page builder with the name of the niche, you could sometimes find some really good landing pages that have been built out there by other marketers, so we could start to get some ideas of how do we format our stuff, what's the advertisement copy that we're going to use. And again, here's the Facebook library. If you just go there and type in Facebook ad library, you'll be able to get to this. You're going to go over there. You're going to select all categories, and then you can either search by and you can set your location as well. But you're either going to search by the keyword, or you could search by if you know your actual competitors from finding them in Google. And again, the entire time I'm doing this, I got a Google Doc open or a piece of paper, and I am figuring out the answer to all of these questions. And again, we're going to figure them out by checking out their websites, fan pages, their ads, and all of that. So that is really step number 2. And after you've done that, which shouldn't take you more than an hour, 2 hours, if it's a brand new niche, you could do it pretty quick. But once you have that, you got everything you need to start to hit the marketing bullseye. And the marketing bullseye is when you get this right, when you get the message, market, and the media right. And these are the 3 triangles. This is the results marketing triangle. Again, this is something that I learned from Dan Kennedy, which is you got to get the right message to the right market via the right media. Now, the right media, obviously we're going to be using social media ads in this case. So it's just a matter of getting the message to the right market. And something that I cover in my course in great detail on Facebook ads is the market part. If you know how to properly work with the Facebook algorithm, that's going to take care of a lot of it. So it's really about getting the messaging right, which is, this next step. So getting the messaging right comes down to this. Number 1, we got to develop our offer. So we want to know, if it's your client, what are they going to sell to the market, right? Is it going to be a loss leader? Is it going to be their main service? For example, in the NeoGraft, we knew they were trying to sell NeoGraft, right? How are we going to sell it? Their current sales process was people came to their website, they filled in a form, or they called in, and then they spoke over the phone with one of their reps, and that rep booked them into a consultation in person, to where then they had a whole presentation to get them enrolled into NeoGraft. So these are all questions that we want to know before we sell either for ourselves or for our client. Like, how does their current sales process work, right? Do they go out and do a quote? Do they go out and do an estimate? Is it mainly form inquiries, or is it phone calls, right? Also want to know, what is the core belief you have to instill in them in order for them to buy? And this is a matter of reverse engineering. Again, at a local level, you don't, sometimes I don't do all of this, but it's good to know different. For example, I always want to know, what do they have to believe about me, the way the world works, and themselves in order to buy, right? Those are the core beliefs that I'm trying to backwards engineer to instill in them to get them to buy. So Next is, how are you going to do this differently than your competition? Again, from the market research phase, you should have figured that out. So creating the offer is pretty simple, right? If you've done your research right, you're going to know what is the number one thing your customer wants. You're going to know what their big problem is. And so what is the number one thing they want to know or have, right? These things are all great to know before we actually decide what we're going to give them. And then essentially, we want to decide on our bait. And that's going to be a discount, a quiz, survey, free consultation, reports, toolkits. It could be a consumer awareness guide. For the local level, a lot of times all we're going to do, and I have this here, typically the bait for local is going to be a financial incentive. That's what I use 70% of the time. It's going to be a sale. It's going to be, $1,500, $1,000 off Invisalign. It's going to be buy one, get one free, or some sort of package where they know the price. And they're entering in for a coupon for that. So if it's a local, let's say it's a local store that sells wetsuits, right? It could be, enter in your information, get a $500 off coupon or $500 off voucher for XYZ. Or it's going to be a pain problem based to a free consultation, to where what we're going to do is we're going to call out the pain that the market's experiencing. And then the solution is going to be, hey, here's a free audit. Here's going to be a free consultation to where we're going to figure this and solve this problem for you. It could be a quiz to see if you qualify. So this is used in the mortgage space when we run mortgage ads. They're for FHA. It's going to see how much house you could get pre-qualified for. See what you can afford. We've run self-employment ads. For not self-employment. So people that are self-employed that can't get regular loans. We have a survey funnel where it's like, hey, did you know of this program that all the banks need is to look at your bank statements? That way you get approved for, higher loans, because a lot of people that are self-employed, obviously they write off a lot of stuff to make their income look as small as possible, which saves them on taxes. But then when they're going for a home, it doesn't look like they make any money. So there's a couple workarounds for that, such as using bank statements. So we have a whole quiz where we have them fill out, what's their estimated credit score, what's the revenue of their business, and fill out all that to see if they qualify. And that becomes then a lead for our loan officers. Another thing is a consumer awareness guide or a free report. And this is simply like, 11 things to know before you hire a carpet cleaner, or a benefit about how whatever the service is works, right? It's a consumer awareness guide. So that's really what the bait is. And again, if you've been around online marketing for a while, you've probably heard it's different names: the freebie, the freemium, the lead magnet, the bribe. And again, the purpose of this bait is to exchange something of value for contact information. And that is called the lead or the opt-in. So that is pretty much it of how we go about figuring out what the bait is. And again, this is when you're doing your market research, you are going to see what our other people are using for their freebie, their freemium, their bait. And the second purpose of the bait is to pre-frame your customer. And that's to warm your customer up and build credibility. So if it's a straight discount funnel, the way that I like to do that is on the thank you page, have testimonials, show them that you're the real deal, informational purposes. Just be very careful with Facebook and Instagram's terms of service of what you can do. But essentially, we want to get their information and also pre-frame them and get them ready for the next step in the sales process, whether that's you calling them on phone to book them into appointment or them calling you. So that's pretty much it. Again, here's some example local ads we could see. So here's one right here. This right here is they're giving away 27 vouchers for an adjustment X-ray consultation and doctor's report of findings for $21. Limit one per person. New patient. Click the button now to grab your voucher. So that's the offer. $21 adjustment, consult, X-ray, and doctor's report. Right here, we have the another one for the chiropractic niche. And again, this is 47 people, free consultation. That's the bait right here. Then over here, we have a free week of CrossFit. So that's the bait there. As you can see at Tension Port Jefferson, we're inviting 12 first-timers to try CrossFit for free this Saturday at 10 a.m. Sign up through this ad and also receive a complimentary fitness consultation. So it's a free week, and they get a free consultation. And again, these are just different ads that I was able to pull from my swipe file. So the social media ad, how it works. So now that we know our bait, we got to go about how do we go out and write these things, right? And this is really what the ads look like in mock-up form. You're going to have your page name, you're going to have your text, and then you're going to have your headline and then your call to action. And you've probably seen these in your page. In Facebook, they come up sponsored. And I think they say sponsored underneath here in Instagram. But it's the same thing. It's going to be an image. I'll show you how to get those. And then it's going to be a headline as well as our copy. So I'm going to take a break here. And if you got any questions, let me know. And then what we're going to do is we're going to into the 7 steps for writing the perfect social media ad.